Especially when you're early trying to put your life back together, one of the most difficult things to handle is rejection. You know, it's just, it can be a horrible setback because it takes a while as we make the transition to a new productive life to develop that strength to withstand some of the setbacks. We have to give ourselves time to build that strength in the guts and the emotion and the heart and the mind, so that we can withstand disappointments better. Because the whole transition, it's a very trying thing. It takes a lot of effort. I mean, it's simple as anything. Stop doing the things that contribute to the problems and start doing the things that contribute to a better life. Simple but not easy. And when it comes to people, it gets difficult. Now, we all deal with this. Those of us just putting our lives back together will deal with this. And of course, in recovery, they deal with it too, and they actually, in their steps, cover amends. But what they do is a bit specialized. However, what I'm discussing today will apply to both. The idea of amending things, of repairing things when possible. I don't think I need to remind you that there are situations where repairs can't be attempted, where it would put you in danger, would endanger someone else, might even harm the person you're trying to repair the damage with. It might get, or it could get you in legal trouble, medical trouble, get people after you, you know. So there are situations where you really can't make the amends. You can't fix the problem. However, there are many situations where you might be able to do it if you want. You know, you have to decide yourself, are these people worth the effort of me putting my neck out like this to say, hey, I'm sorry. I'd like to at least just clean up a little of the mess. And you've got to do this knowing that you're not going to be able to set things back to the way they were. Some folks will say, fine, I'm glad to hear it, goodbye. Some may say it through gritted teeth. Some may say, yeah, we can talk and stuff, but it may not come to much. But there's a reason for that too. And some may let you have it when you least expect it, and that can really hurt. Someone you think would love to have you back as a friend, you know, rejects you, and sometimes in the cruelest, harshest way. They know just what buttons to push, so to speak. And you have to be ready for that. You have to be ready for any eventuality. And understand that when you're doing this, when you're trying to repair all that damage, there will be cases of rejection. It's almost inevitable. Almost, because there's always that case where somebody doesn't get any rejection. One of the things is that people cannot sometimes see you without seeing you in terms of the trouble they had with you. Even though those days are over for you, they in their mind cannot separate you from that. So having you around, even if you're on a right footing and they know it, is still burdensome, still troublesome. In some cases, their lives and their relationships have changed so much that there's no room for you anymore. That your friendship, your company just doesn't fit. And sometimes over years, it's a matter of people grow apart. So even though if, say, in ideal conditions, you could have restored that friendship or that relationship, because of the intervening years, your paths are so different in those years, you have very little common ground anymore. They might have gone through, you know, your standard, peaceful, good life, while you were going through hell in a handbasket. And through those different experiences, you just lose that common ground. There was a gal I went with in the mid-70s who, we had quite a thing going. We eventually broke up because we drank like fish and did other crazy stuff, and we just grated on each other. And in the late 80s, we had seen each other now and then just as friends. You know, she had gone her way, I had gone mine. And in the late 80s, you know, we talked about, gee, you know, I wonder if we ever could, now that we've kind of gone through all our different things over the years, and we tried, and it just wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen for two things. First of all, we were thinking of the good old days, not the days when we were butting heads with each other, but we were also, over the years, had taken very different paths. very different life experiences, so any common ground we might have had evaporated. And I bring this story up only because this is the point in my life that illustrated so clearly how this works, that idea of the intervening years, the idea of growing apart, of paths coming together, come together, but they can't stay. And also why, even when there's good intentions on both sides, old friendships and stuff can never be what they were, because life goes on. It's like weird, the flow of weird, some call it ord, the old Viking belief of destiny, of fate, of the progress of life being like weaving a tapestry. There's a forward weave and there's a cross weave, and that flow keeps going. It doesn't stop for us when we're going through hard times or stop for someone else. Life goes on. I guess the word we could say, there are so many transitions in life, and ours differ from those of others. I look back sometimes, I come across information about old friends, and I see them where they've gone, and a lot of times I just don't want to bother reestablishing contact, because our lives have gone so different. It's like there's no room for anymore. We're just too different. Our lives are concerned, so that's just the way things are. But it's especially pronounced when you're putting your life together and you really do want to make up for some of the damage, especially the people you really cared for, you really liked, you really felt, deserved a better shape than what was given them. It's a tough road. Putting your life together, as I say all the time, it's really simple. Something's causing the problem, stop doing it. Start doing the things that make your life better. Can anything be easier? It's simple, but not easy. And this is one of the cases where it can get tough a little time. Tough a little now and then. It happens. You're dealing with people, you're dealing with feelings, and you really can't project what their feelings might be or their perceptions of what had happened in the past. People always see things differently. But at least you're on the path, you're working in that direction. And remember, even when there are setbacks and rejection, there are also going to be those cases where you're going to be glad you were able to at least mend some of the fences and restore that feeling of goodwill. Again, we're not talking forgiveness here. We're not talking of you asking for penance. We're talking of saying there was a problem. So I'd like to talk to you about that. I'm trying to get away from that. I just want to let you know I am sorry if I caused you any harm. Not seeking forgiveness, I'm not begging for it, but just saying sincerely, I regret that it happened. Letting the person know how you feel. Someone that you value enough, you do that for. Again, penance and penitence are not our way. Sackcloth and ashes are as alien to us as the 27th asteroid southeast of the planet Pluto. All we're doing is trying to make things right, trying to clean up and take responsibility for some of our past actions, especially the people who we valued at that time and probably still value too. So good luck on your work. Hang in there, it's worth it. Have a good one. This is Uncle Thor signing out.